A Forced Smile, Chapter 19. I woke up and looked at my phone. It was Tuesday. I got up and almost stood on Grinny. "Jesus Christ," I shouted. Grinny chuckled. "Did I scare you?" he asked. I glared at him and got some clothes from my bag. Some denim shorts and a black t-shirt. "Cute," Grinny said, curling himself around my ankles. "Ugh, you are so," I muttered, walking to the bathroom. "No, you're staying out," I said, closing Grinny out of the bathroom and locking the door. I took a shower and washed my hair. When I finished, I wrapped a towel around myself and stepped out of the shower. I then brushed my teeth and walked to my room, passing Jack on the way. "Morning, Scar," he said. I smiled. "Hey." I went into my room and Grinny was waiting for me. "Grinny," I said, closing my door. "Yes," I groaned. "Must you constantly be in my room?" "Yes," he said. I quickly got changed and brushed my hair. Grinny meowed. I giggled and walked downstairs. "Morning, guys," I shouted. "Shh," Sally said, turning her head back to the TV, watching a My Little Pony marathon. "Sally, come on, I want to watch something," Ben complained. I smiled and walked outside. I saw Jeff leaning against a tree smoking a cigarette. "That's bad for you," I said. Jeff smirked. "Well, no duh," he mumbled. I smiled and leaned against him. Jeff shrugged. I sighed and laid in the grass. "Are you sleepy?" Jeff asked. "No, I'm just being a carpet," I muttered. Jeff stumped on his cigarette and sat on my stomach. "Hey there," he smirked. I giggled. Jeff kissed my head. "Jeff," I whispered. "Yeah?" "You know Grinny?" I asked. Jeff nodded. "He keeps following me," I said. Jeff laughed. "He's cute, though," Jeff said. I nodded. Jeff got off of me and helped me up. I walked back inside and Jeff followed me. I saw Ben with his back to me. I hugged him from behind. "Hi, Ben!" I shouted, squeezing him. Jeff, she's gonna kill me!" Ben screamed. Jeff started laughing. "Too bad, little buddy." Jeff smirked and walked upstairs. "You are so cute," I giggled, stroking Ben's hair. Yeah, now let go," Ben muttered. I laughed and kissed his cheek. He wiped his face. "Fine, be like that," I said. I walked over to Masky and jumped on his back. "Hey, Scarlet," he laughed. "Hi," I smiled. He put me down and I heard a knock on the door. I ran to get it. I opened it and there was a tall woman with black eyes, black hair, and wearing a black dress. Hi?" I said. She looked at me and laughed. Well, if it isn't Jeff's sweetheart," she smirked. "Who are you?" I asked. "My name is Jane," she said. I stared at her. "Jane," I heard Jeff say from behind me. He looked at Jane with pure hatred. A Forced Smile, Chapter 20. It's been a week since Jeff left. I don't know where he's gone. I just hope he'll come back. I was leaning against the wall outside with Jack. "Don't worry, he'll be fine," Jack said. I smiled and nodded. Okay, so what's going on is basically what happens in Jeff versus Jane. So look that up if you're wondering what's happening to Jeff. I was suddenly tackled to the ground. "Masky, get off," I shouted. Masky stood up and laughed. I stood up and glared at him. "I'm going to town," I said, running inside and getting my camera and some money. I walked out of the forest and got my camera out. I clicked the record button. "Hey guys, so it's been a while since I've done a video, so I'm going shopping." Just kidding. I'm just going to get some stuff because, to be honest, I was just bored. Okay, where to go? I probably look like a weirdo carrying around my camera, but I said, walking into a shopping center. Okay, Oh, I need some makeup, I said, walking into Sephora. I got some foundation and pressed on powder. Okay, now I need some candy. I got some chocolate for Ben and Sally. Okay, I think that's it. I might make a video later. Bye, guys. I stopped the camera and saw that I only took 7 minutes. I put my camera in the bag and started walking home. On the way, I heard purring behind me. I turned around and saw Grinny. "How long have you been following me?" I asked. He laughed. "Long enough," he purred. I rolled my eyes and sat on the bench. Grinny sat next to me. "So why were you I stopped talking as a young boy walks past me. "Joseph." "Joseph?" I shouted, hugging him. "Scarlet?" Joseph whispered. "Oh my gosh, are you okay?" I asked. He nodded. "Where did you go?" Joseph asked. "I can't tell you," I sighed. "Oh, I have to go." I said. Joseph nodded. I love you, he said and walked away. Who was that? Granny asked. My stepbrother. Back at the house. I threw chocolate at Ben and Sally. Thank you, they both yelled. You're welcome, I smiled. I walked outside and saw Jack smoking. Hi, Jack, I said. Jack waved and gave me a cigarette. I don't smoke, I sighed. Jack smirked and pressed his lips against my. I tensed up, but kissed back, then pulled away. Tears ran down my face. Jack, why did you do that? I whispered. Jack laughed and hugged me. It doesn't matter, he whispered. A Forced Smile, Chapter 21. I was sitting next to Ben on the couch as we watched Adventure Time. How old are you, Ben? I asked curiously. 17, he said. Same as me, I said, scrolling through my phone, looking at pictures of me and Loki. I sniffed and felt tears in my eyes. No, don't cry, Scar, please don't cry, I thought to myself. But the tears had already stained my face. Are you all right? Ben asked. I nodded, lying to him. Honesty is the best policy, he said. My stepbrother killed his sister and I miss her, I sniffed. Ben smiled and wrapped his arms around me. Shh, it's all right, Ben whispered. I closed my eyes and fell asleep. I woke up in my room. I sat up and saw an apple and some toast on the dresser. I walked over to it and consumed all the food. I took my plate to the kitchen and walked back down to the couch sitting next to Ben. Ben, did you take me upstairs? I asked. He nodded. I smiled and sat on his lap, facing him. He grinned and wrapped his arms around my waist. What about Jeff? I whispered. He won't find out, Ben said, kissing me. I kissed back, not feeling a slight bit of guilt. Ben pulled away and kissed my neck. But Ben, I said. He chuckled and kissed my lips more. I pulled away and rested my head on his shoulder. I slipped off his lap, and we started to watch The Grudge. After about 2 hours, the front door opened and slammed shut, and there stood Jeff. His face was skinnier than I remembered, and he looked as if he was in a knife fight. Jeff! I screamed, hugging him. Oh my gosh, where did you go? Are you okay? What happened? I asked, tears coming to my eyes. Shh, I'm fine. I was in a fight, but everything is okay now. I just escaped from the hospital, he breathed. I sniffed and kissed his cheek. 5 hours later, 1 a.m. Jeff had cleared up and was in his room. I was dressed in some shorts and a t-shirt. My hair was down and I had pulled my makeup on. It turned out all right. I walked to Jeff's room and opened the door, went inside, shut the door, and locked it. I walked over to him. Hey, I smiled. I looked at him and put his arms around my waist. Hey, he said. I smiled and kissed him. He smirked and pushed me onto his bed, getting on top of me. He kissed me passionately. Jeff, I don't want to do this, I whispered. Jeff smiled and got off me. That's okay, he smiled. You aren't angry? I asked. No, why would I be? Actually, it's kind of cute. He smirked. I smiled and kissed him softly. I walked out of his room and walked to Ben's room. I knocked on the door and he opened it. Yeah? He asked. I wanted to come and see you, I blushed. Ben smiled and let me into his room. It was tidy apart from cigarette boxes everywhere and various bags of white powder. You take drugs? I asked. Ben smirked. He mumbled. I sat on his bed and he sat next to me. So how are... I was cut off by Ben kissing me. I kissed back until the door opened and there stood Masky. A Forced Smile, Chapter 22, Final. I stared at Masky. Masky? I started. Scarlet! Masky hissed. I got up and grabbed him. Don't tell Jeff, please. Scarlet, Jeff loves you, he said. Tears ran down my face. Yes, but... No, I'm telling him, Masky said. Masky, don't! I screamed. He pushed me away and ran downstairs. I ran after him. When I got to the bottom of the stairs, I fell over. No! I screamed, but Masky had already told Jeff. Jeff looked at me with pure hatred. I whimpered as he walked over to me. Get up, Jeff growled. I got up and he took my hand, dragging me out of the house. Jeff, where are we going? Shut up, Jeff said, pulling me. I sniffed. Jeff, I still love you, I said, tears streaming down my face. Jeff pulled me into an abandoned warehouse and threw me on the floor. Jeff, just no, I screamed. I tried to get away from him, but I wasn't fast enough. Jeff smirked. No, please don't, I whispered. Jeff took no notice and slid into me. I screamed in pain. No, stop! I screamed, tears running down my face. He didn't stop. When he'd finished, Jeff smirked and slapped my face, and it fell on the floor. Stop, I whispered. Jeff kicked me in my stomach. I groaned in pain as he beat me, pulling my hair occasionally. Jeff pulled up, and we walked back to the house. I sniffed. I thought you loved me, I said. You kissed Ben, he replied, tears ran down my face as I tackled Jeff, kissing him. He kissed back. Sorry, Jeff whispered. We both stood up. Sorry, I just... wait, what's that? I said, seeing smoke in the distance. We both ran towards the flames and saw a house engulfed in flames. What the heck? I screamed. I noticed Grinny, Smile, and Slendy, Jack, Masky, and Ben and Hoodie were outside. They loved Sally. What the heck? Aren't you guys going to help her? I screamed, running into the flames. Sally! I screamed. I ran up to the stairs in her room. She was laying on the floor unconscious, toys surrounding her. Sally, come on! Sally, wake up! I whispered. I picked her up and ran out of the house, smoke building up in my lungs. I put Sally on the ground and gasped for air. Soon I was coughing up blood. Jeff held me while Jack was laying by Sally, holding her. I felt my heart slow down, getting slower and slower. Baby, don't cry, just go to sleep, Jeff whispered. I took my last breath and closed my eyes. I did exactly what Jeff told me to do. I went to sleep. A forced smile, extended ending. Jeff's point of view. Scarlet? Scar? I whispered, holding your fragile body carefully. Scarlet, please don't be dead, I sniffed, tears running down my face. Look, you're making me cry. Don't make me cry, Scar, I said, shaking her. Scarlet, this isn't funny. Please, come on, I said a little louder, shaking her harder. Jeff, she's dead, Jack said, kneeling next to me. No, she can't be, I shouted, shaking her lifeless body more. Scar, please wake up, please, I cried, hugging her corpse close to me, rocking her. Who did this? Who started the fire? I asked. No one replied. Tell me! I screamed, holding Scarlet closer. Ben stepped forward. I did, he sighed. I stood up and ran to him, punching him. Thanks to you, Scarlet is dead, I screamed at him, laying next to him, to Scarlet's body. Jeff, just calm down. Go to sleep. A voice whispered. The last thing I saw was my brother, Lou. Then I passed out. Okay, so there is a sequel to A Forced Smile that I will be narrating soon. Goodbye!